So hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Yes, you know, as usual on this channel, what do? We talk about fish farming business. We also talk about aquariums. We unbox equipment that are used for fish farming business, and we also give tips on how to improve your fish farming business as usual. So today, what are we talking about? We will be talking about the 10 common mistakes. 10 common mistakes that fish farmers usually make, especially those who are starters in fish farming, and how you can avoid them. That's what we'll be discussing. Please stick around to the end of this video so that you can know all these points, and particularly point 8 is very important. Take note of point 8. Very, very important. So let's go straight up to point 1. So point 1 is overcrowding. Overcrowding of your fish tank. This is one mistake that a lot of fish farmers do. Why? They feel that the more fishes they have, the more profits they will make. No. More fishes does not equal to more profits. Not at all. So this is one mistake a lot of fish farmers make. Overcrowding usually leads to stress of your fish. It will lead to diseases, and it also leads to slow growth rates. So you can see that the more you have, which will make your pond overcrowded with fishes, would not equal to more profit for you. Not at all. So in this case, what are you expected to do? You are expected to follow the stocking density plan, or what we call the stocking density guideline for fishes. Please let me know if you would need this particular video, because I think that would be a different video on its own that we were going to talk about stocking density for fish ponds. That means what quantity of fish is okay for a particular size of pond or volume of water. That is what we'll be discussing on a separate video, of course, stocking density. So leave a comment in the comment section if you would want this video. So that's it for point 1, overstocking, overcrowding your pond. A very big mistake fish farmers make. Now let's head over to point 2. Point 2 is poor water quality management. Yes, the house where the fishes live is the water. Just like you and I in our houses, we make sure our house is convenient, clean for us to stay in. The same way with fishes. Their house, which is the water needs to be properly managed. If you don't manage the water quality of your water properly, certain parameters can make your fishes to die. And such of them are ammonia, yes, spike in ammonia, spike in nitrites, and low oxygen. All these are related to water qualities. You need to properly manage your water so that parameters like this will not affect your fishes. So what do you need to do? Regularly test your water. Do a test, do a check on your water to be sure that your water is properly managed, so that your fishes can live well in the water that they are living in. So next is point 3. Point 3 is feeding too much or feeding too little. Remember, we are on point 3. Feeding too much or feeding too little. Feeding too much is overfeeding, and overfeeding will lead to dirty water and wasted money, while underfeeding will lead to stunted growth. So both is not good. Two extremes, overfeeding, underfeeding. You need to know where to meet a balance. When you overfeed, you would have polluted water, and it will affect the growth of your fishes. Even underfeeding too, when you don't feed them properly at the right time, at the right stages, then you would have stunted growth, or you don't feed them the correct nutrients that they need in their feed. That is also what we call underfeeding. Then they would have stunted growth. So what do you need to do? Observe your fishes. The fact that you are a farmer doesn't mean, or the fact that your business or this fish farming business is a side hustle doesn't mean your mind or your attention shouldn't be on your fishes. You need to pay attention to your fishes. Observe them based on their appetite and size. Know what to feed, when to feed, and how to feed properly. In the caption below, you would see a link to a feeding guide on catfish farming. As a catfish farmer, There are guides in how to feed your fishes. So read the caption and there's a link there. You can go over to the link and check it out. A detail is there on how you can feed your fishes. So let's go over to point 4 now. Point 4 says starting without a clear business plan. Fish farming business is a business on its own. A lot of people feel because it's just a side hustle or something I'm doing on the side, then I don't really need to take it serious. But fish farming business is serious business. You know what I mean by serious business? Yes, it is serious business. It's not just a hobby. So what we need to do is have a plan for your business before jumping into it. Just like every other business, you need to plan your cost, you need to plan your marketing, you need to plan how to purchase your seeds, which are your fingerlings. You need to plan on how to market them. So all this planning needs to be put in place as a business. Just like you want to start a business, you do feasibility studies, you do marketing analysis and all that. All these things need to be put in place in a fish farming business also. So don't just treat it as a hobby, treat it as a serious business. That's point 4. Now to point 5. Point 5 is using low quality fingerlings. In point 4, I mentioned that you need to plan how to get your fingerlings, which are your seeds. Now, you need to get quality seeds for starting. And these are the things you need to check. You need to have checked, oh, from which source do I plan to get my fingerlings that I want to stock in my pond? Because that's your seed. It's like that's the seed you want to plant. The fingerlings or the juvenile, as the case may be, is that the you want to stock in your pond and you want to start feeding them to table size. So you need to know the source. Is the source of good quality? You need to know a very good hatcher that would give you good seeds, good fingerling seeds that you can get from, and then you start raising. When you buy from trusted and top quality hatchers, then you will not have issues in the course of you trying to do this your business. You will not have issues because you have started on the right footing. You have started using quality seeds from the get-go. When you don't have quality fingerlings, maybe you have fingerlings that already have diseases or they are stunted in growth or they are runs already, then you would have a challenge raising them or making profit from it in the long run. So you need to have good source of your fingerlings. You need to check it out, make such research, and know where you want to get your fingerlings from. So let's head over to point 6. Now on point 6. Point 6 is ignoring biosecurity measures. There's some security measures in your fish farm that you need not to ignore. Now, in poultry farming, you see sometimes that when you want to go into a poultry farm, there are a lot of security measures that you need to put in place. For example, you need to wash your feet, clean yourself well, dip your feet inside certain kind of chemical that is in that farm in order for you not to transfer diseases to the poultry beds. The same thing with fish farming. A lot of people ignore this in fish farming. There are a lot of biosecurity measures you need to put in place. For example, one of them is sharing of equipment. You're not expected to bring in equipment from a particular fish farm and then you put it into your own and make use of it in your own pond. You do not know what kind of disease that is in that farm and you are going to transfer it into yours. So there are a lot of measures like that that you need to put in place in order to make sure that everything in your farm is sanitized and clean, free from diseases. So another thing you need to do is that when new stocks come in and you already have old stock, you need to separate them, something like a quarantine. Watch these new ones as they go. Oh, they are fine, they are okay. Before you start joining them into other stocks that you have. So this biosecurity measure is very important. It involves sanitizing, making sure equipment are clean, sterilized, and okay before use. Now, point 7. Point 7 is not keeping records. Not keeping records. For every business, records needs to be kept so that you can track progress or no progress. You'll be able to know that in the course of you checking your records. So it's important. When you stock your fishes, you need to pen it down. Their growth rate, you need to pen it down. your tools and equipment you purchased, and even feed that you purchased. You need to pen all these things down. Record them, record their feeding process, record mortality, record growth rates, record expenses. All that, these are things you need to put in record so you can know if you're making progress or not, if you're making profits or not in your fish farming business. Now to the most important one, point 8. Point 8. Point 8 has to do with waiting too long to harvest. What do we mean by waiting too long to harvest? Waiting too long to harvest means that a fishes that have grown to a particular stage might stop growing, and all it's doing is just it has started eating into the profits that you are supposed to make for the business. Let's say, for example, I want to give a typical example here. Your plan in your business plan that you have made is for you to harvest these fishes at, say, 6 months. Yes, at 6 months is your plan, and you've recorded it down. You want to harvest at 6 months. At, say, 5 months, you have to start making your marketing process even at 5 months. You would not wait till 6 months, exactly 6 months, then you start looking for buyers or start advertising your products or start making inquiries about how you're going to sell your fishes. No, you won't have to wait till 6 months. You start doing this from, say, 5 months. Yes, so that your fishes would not stay beyond their growth rates, and all they will do is they will just keep eating feed, because of course you have to feed them. If you stop feeding them, they will depreciate in growth. If you don't feed them at all, they will start depreciating in growth. So you have to know at what point in time you would have to start making your marketing, so that at exactly 6 months, then you will know that your fishes have left, and you would not be incurring more cost on feeding when they are supposed to have been sold. So this point 8 is very important for farmers. A lot of farmers do this mistake a lot in fish farming. So take note of this one. Now on point 9. Point 9 is lack of technical know-how. A lot of people feel that fish farming is just a business that you can jump into. Oh, what's there? It's not just for me to have water in a pond, get fishes, put it there, start feeding them. They will grow and I will sell. No, it doesn't work that way. You need to learn. You need to learn and relearn. It is only when you learn that you will earn. If you don't know the nitty-gritties of fish farming business, then you are in for a loss. So you need to learn. Get someone who is into it to train you, observe, watch before you start the business. It is when you have learned from such people you would know what and what to do. You will know what to avoid and what are the important things to do. So take note of this point also, as either a startup or an existing fish farmer. Now, point 10. Point 10 is also related to point 8 that I mentioned, still on marketing, and it has to do with the mistake they make is selling without a marketing strategy. Yes, like I've said earlier, when you sell without a strategy, of course, having your fishes on ground is just half of the battle done. Now, who is buying them? Have you gotten a buyer? What are your plans on sales? How do you plan to make a sale? You need to start putting this in place. Not necessarily while you have started, even before you start the fish farming business, even before you stock this particular new set of stock that you want to stock now, you need to put a marketing strategy in place. You need to start building your customer base early. Is it local restaurants? Is it retailers? Is it a direct to customers that you plan to sell? A lot of people just jump into the fish farming business. They don't have that plan. They all feel, oh, fish sells now. Everybody eats fish, so let me do the business. No. What is your own particular plan? Who are your own buyers? Who are your own target audience that you feel that you plan to sell to? What is your strategy to market? You need to start building your customer base early enough, even from the beginning of your stocking. So these are 10 mistakes that farmers usually make. Fish farmers usually make. But now that you know them, you know how to avoid them, right? I'm sure you do. So, if you find this very helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe if you have not subscribed already. And then comment below if you've made any of these mistakes before. Have you made any of these mistakes before? Let me know in the comment section. So, until next time, stay smart, stay sustainable, and keep growing in your fish farming business. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.